everyone, today I've got The Irishman movie review. Wait, they said this movie was how long? And it's up for Best Picture? But will that be enough to make it worth watching? So as far as the story goes, Martin Scorsese directs this mob thriller that is certainly right up his alley of expertise, especially at this point in his career after making films such as Goodfellas and Casino, and obviously many more to name. You know, if you're a fan of Scorsese, you know what they are and you've probably seen them by now. But now you can watch this movie on Netflix, which is based off of the novel I Heard You Paint Houses. I don't know how much of the book was adapted or made accurate on screen, and I wouldn't call myself a huge fan of this genre, but this movie presents itself as something more than just this violent streak from the mob and actual heart and soul with some of the characters' intentions. I will admit that I was a little bit worried going into this movie for certain reasons that I'll bring up later in the review, but man, this movie was kind of surprising in a way. As far as the casting goes, you've got Robert De Niro, who is one of Scorsese's favorites and reteams with him, and he plays this guy named Frank Sheeran, who is reminiscing about his past of working in the mob, and I really liked his character in this movie. I definitely think he stood out a lot, but especially when he is working with Joe Pesci, who also reteams with Scorsese. Yay, Goodfellas reunion. I thought that their interactions were just, of course, I mean, it's pretty much a bromance at this point because, I mean, you have these legendary actors who are at the pinnacle of their career, and, you know, possibly, I don't know how many more chances they're gonna have to work together on film, but man, it was pretty awesome to see, as well as Al Pacino, who plays Jimmy Hoffa. I don't really know too much about the real life guy, but I think he definitely sold it in his role, and I think like there were other standout performances, or at least other actors that I recognized in this movie, like Ray Romano and several others. But man, what I found to be really interesting was that they used this de-aging with these characters that I feel like worked in some of the scenes compared to others. So it was kind of freaky to see at times because I was like, okay, how are they gonna make this work with all the makeup? Because they also ended up making them even older than what they are. So I thought that was kind of cool as well. So the things that I liked about this movie was that the set design made you feel like you were revisiting this time period. And the movie also focused on several events in political history, like JFK and Watergate. So it's really going through this time along with dealing with the mob. And you do also get what you expect from when it comes to more of those violent scenes that Scorsese knows how to direct. I mean, Scorsese tends to make movies that are more, you know, bloodied and violent. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I mean, I could definitely see where in certain cases it did work in this movie. So it wasn't like underdone or overdone. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was the 3.5 hour long runtime. I mean, I thought it was too long and drawn out to tell this seemingly true story when some scenes dragged on longer than others, and I was like, okay, is it gonna be over now? I mean, certain things happen in a lot of things happen in a short amount of time, but I ended up watching it all the way through instead of having to revisit it like I know some people did, because it might take a few days to watch this movie because it is dialogue heavy and sometimes makes this movie hard to follow. But did any of you watch it in segments? Let me know. And I don't know which way is better, but thankfully you can pause Netflix. So overall, I would say that this was a pretty decent movie, and it did come with a lot of surprises. So Me not being a huge fan of Scorsese movies or this type of genre, I was pretty impressed with what I saw. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie whether or not you're a Scorsese fan or not. So I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of The Irishman. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, coming every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys later.